before we continue this powerful story. If you love emotional African stories about struggle, destiny, and love, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us share more stories like this. Now let's begin. She was just a maid, barely scraping by, her hands calloused, her heart heavy with years of struggle. He was a wealthy businessman, living in comfort and ease, oblivious to the hardships of life outside his walls. Their worlds were never meant to collide, yet fate had other plans. One night would change everything. Love wasn't meant to happen, but feelings grew anyway. Just when happiness seemed near, an unexpected twist threatened to tear them apart. Nelson had returned from a long day at his Lagos office. He collapsed onto his bed, scrolling his phone. The call came. It was his mother. "Mama, good evening," he said reluctantly. "My son, how are you? And your health?" Her voice was warm yet commanding. "I'm fine, Mama. How is yours?" "We thank God. But my son, when will you marry? Your cousins are all married, with children already. You are the last. You cannot wait forever." Nelson sighed. "Mama, please, let's not discuss this again. I'll find someone for you if you cannot. Even a village girl would do." Nelson smiled faintly. "Mama, I cannot marry a village girl. I have someone I am observing. Once I'm sure, we'll approach her parents." Winnie had known suffering all her life. Orphaned young, she had no safety net, no home, and no family. Life in the orphanage had been harsh. Caretakers treated children like burdens, and older kids were often forced to work without pay. At 14, she overheard a conversation that changed her life forever. She had been promised to a strange man for money. Fear gripped her heart. She had only one choice: escape. That night, while the others slept, she climbed out of a broken window and ran into the darkness. For days, she wandered the streets, begging for food, sleeping in abandoned buildings, hiding from those who might recognize her. Eventually, she found Sonia, an old friend from the orphanage, who had also escaped. Together, they had struggled for nearly a decade in a tiny one-room apartment in a crowded slum. Winnie felt trapped in an endless cycle of poverty, hopelessness pressing on her like a heavy chain. One afternoon, Winnie sat on a broken chair outside their compound, staring at an empty sachet of water. Her stomach ached. Just then, Sonia came rushing toward her, eyes sparkling with excitement, phone in hand. "Winnie! Listen, I found something. A rich man in Banana Island is hiring a housekeeper." Winnie's heart raced. "Banana Island? Are you sure? Rich people don't hire people like us." Sonia laughed. "Who cares? You need this job. Stop hesitating. This could change everything." Tears filled Winnie's eyes. She had been rejected so many times, treated as nothing. Could this be her chance? She nodded, determination lighting her face. "Okay, I'll go." The next morning, Winnie walked into the massive mansion, her eyes wide at the shining marble floors, expensive furniture, and sparkling chandeliers. Her palms were sweaty as she straightened her dress. Then he appeared. Tall, impeccably dressed, with sharp eyes that seemed to see straight through her. "Nelson." "You are Winnie, correct?" His voice was firm yet calm. "Yes, sir," she replied, standing straight. "Have you worked as a housekeeper before?" "Yes, sir. I can cook very well." "Good. Your salary is 50,000 naira per month. Breakfast and dinner daily. And if you steal, you're out immediately." "I don't steal, sir," she said with quiet confidence. "Fine. Start tomorrow." A few days later, Winnie carefully served drinks at a small party in Nelson's mansion. Wealthy guests laughed, clinking glasses, immersed in luxury. Suddenly, a hand landed on her backside. She spun around, anger flashing in her eyes. "Don't you dare touch me!" The man laughed. "Relax, it's just a joke. You're just a maid. Why so serious?" Nelson appeared immediately, his expression dark. "Apologize," he ordered. The man, embarrassed, left quietly. Winnie was stunned. Nelson had defended her. For the first time, she saw him differently. Not just a rich man, but someone with a sense of justice, someone who could care. Days turned into weeks. Winnie worked diligently, quietly, staying out of trouble. Nelson found himself noticing her quiet dedication, her humility, her resilience. One evening, Nelson watched a football match. Winnie peeked from the kitchen doorway, cheering silently. He raised an eyebrow. "You like football, huh?" "Yes," she admitted softly. He gestured to the couch. "Sit." She hesitated but moved, and for the first time, they shared a moment without barriers. Then, the glamorous Tamara, Nelson's girlfriend, arrived from Dubai, brandishing designer bags and demanding attention. Winnie watched quietly, realizing Nelson's heart no longer belonged to Tamara. After celebrating a huge business deal, Nelson returned home drunk. Winnie helped him inside. His eyes lingered on her. "You're beautiful," he whispered before kissing her. That night changed everything. Weeks later, Winnie discovered she was pregnant. Nelson's reaction was silent shock. At the mansion, Tamara raged, demanding Winnie leave. Nelson's mother intervened firmly. "She is carrying my grandchild. Winnie stays." With Sonia's guidance, Winnie began to carry herself with confidence. She dressed elegantly, held her head high, and spoke with quiet assurance. Nelson noticed her transformation. Her beauty and confidence struck him in ways he hadn't expected. One evening, watching a movie together, Nelson realized he could no longer ignore his feelings. He gazed at Winnie, his heart racing, and admitted, "I think I feel something for you." Winnie's heart pounded, hope and fear mingling. "You do?" "Yes." For the first time, Nelson saw her not as a maid, not as a mistake, but as a woman he could not imagine life without. Months later, while sharing popcorn during a movie, Nelson pretended to choke. Winnie panicked. Then, he knelt before her, holding a sparkling ring. "Will you marry me?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Yes." Nelson slipped the ring on her finger. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Months later, before family and friends, Nelson and Winnie exchanged vows. What began as an unexpected journey turned into a story of love and resilience. Winnie found home, family, and a man who truly loved her. Nelson realized that love is not about status or wealth. It's about the heart. As they kissed, Nelson's mother clapped joyfully. "I told you, my son. She is a blessing." True love had faced trials, but it had triumphed. A new chapter had begun, a chapter filled with love, family, and lifelong happiness. Life can change from the most unexpected places. Kindness does not look at wealth. True love does not see class or status. And sometimes, the person the world looks down on is the one who changes everything.